fellow geeks, welcome to the first ever episode of Geek of Thrones. We just got through watching Season 7, Episode 1, Dragonstone. These are our initial reactions. On a scale of 1 to Red Wedding, where do you guys place this?
About a 4.
About a 4?
Yeah, overall, this episode, if you're comparing it to all episodes, I would say a 4.
It's kind of boring.
But you expect, honestly, the first episode of every season has been a little slow. You're just catching us up on characters and storylines and reminding us this is where we're here.
Yeah.
This is where we're at here, here, and here. So I expected it to be slow. It was fine. You know.
I kind of wanted a little bit more fast paced, considering that they're only going to do 7 episodes this season. So I wanted like more punch in the face, but it is what it is. Hopefully it builds off of this episode and goes forward. I think some of the main starting points that we can talk about is the very first scene. You get a scene at the Twins, and it's, you know, like Walter Frey is sitting there like hosting a party, he's talking or whatever, and it's a little odd, and you can kind of notice if you watch the, you know, very first, like, you know,
previously on Thrones.
Previous on Thrones. It's obviously Arya Stark. How did you guys feel about that? I mean, like, you know, she just, like, you know, basically kills him, takes him over, calls forth all the Freys, and then just straight gangsters everybody or whatever. It's pretty cool.
I thought that was awesome.
It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome.
Arya Stark has been, for me personally, kind of a boring character.
Yeah, I think
for a couple seasons.
Fair
now.
enough. I think that she started really strong,
Mm-hmm.
and then they didn't know what the hell to do with her. And then, so she was boring, and now they're like, hey guys, it's ending, let's make Arya badass. And I think this is a really good stepping stone to her being a straight killer or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
I think it was cool to see her get the revenge for the Red Wedding.
Yeah.
And basically acknowledge and tell them the North remembers. So it draws back to it, and it gave her that little story arc of saying she still remembers what they did, and she's still a Stark, and she's out there to get revenge for her family's name.
And it's kind of like, I wonder how this is going to have an impact on a global scale. Of the Freys are all dead, so I'm wondering like how this is going to like impact Cersei and King's Landing and other
The
things.
Freys are all drunk and weak anyway.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
They weren't great, so I'm wondering if this will play a part during, you know, as the season goes on. From there, we kind of went to back to the Wall, and we get Jon Snow trying to, like, you know, be like, you know, a leader, and Sansa's kind of like, you know, picking him a little bit, you know, whatever. Do you guys feel that they're together, or maybe Sansa's like, you know, not quite on Team Jon Snow?
I think Sansa has a little bit of resentment towards him because her name's Stark, he's a Snow, he's a bastard, and I think there's a tiny bit of resentment there to where she's with her brother, but she's not fully with her brother, knowing that as far as she knows, Arya's not alive, and she's the last of the Stark name. And I think that's probably what it is. It doesn't matter that somebody's in her ear telling her that she should be running everything.
Right. I mean, I think if it were just Sansa, she might have a little bit more faith, a little bit more kind of loyalty to Jon in his position, because we have Peter Baelish, Littlefinger, you know, behind her whispering these things in her ear and kind of making her doubt whether or not she should be in charge. I think that is really kind of messing with the situation.
Which I agree, it's messing with things, but I'm still like a little person that loves seasons 1, 2, 3, and so I love people playing the game still. And Peter Baelish is still thinking that it's chess. He's still putting moves and pawns in place, and he's doing things, even though there's a whole army of zombies coming, he's still thinking that, like, oh, like, if I do this, I can become king, yay. But he's not thinking, like, you know, he doesn't know what's going on. So I think it's great that he's still playing games from things that he's been waiting for since he was a teenager until now. So that's really cool. I think Jon Snow is still a little naive, even though he's died and come back. You know, he still thinks that if I'm a good guy, people will, you know, just like follow me, and it's like, that's not how the world works, man. It's not black and white, it's gray.
Well, and you had a great line where Sansa told her, you know, told him basically, don't be dumb. Like, Dad was dumb.
Yeah,
Rob
exactly.
was dumb. Like, don't do these stupid things. Like, it's good to be honorable, but not at this cost.
Fair enough.
But like Andrew said, he's still stuck in that of being the good guy, to where loyalty, no matter what, was a good thing. And he said, I'm not going to punish sons for especially the sins of their father.
Yeah.
So he's still rewarding loyalty, but he's not rewarding loyalty, and he's not taking care of treason. He's still trying to play the good guy when he doesn't necessarily need to be playing it at that time.
Fair enough. So we leave there, we go back to King's Landing. Cersei and Jaime are getting into it. Jaime's telling Cersei to like stop being crazy. This is what's going on, and Cersei's like, "Hey, we're on the throne. This is us. These people need to fall in line. I'm the damn queen, whatever." And he kind of brings up a good point of like, our kids have died. Who is left, man? This is just us now. And she's like, you know, she's kind of glossing over the fact that all of her kids are dead, and she just wants to just like, you know, she's so driven by arrogance and power that I think she's very like, you know, short-sighted in everything.
I think the fact that all of her kids are gone is kind of, you know, she's starting to spin out of control. There's nothing there holding her back, holding her, keeping her, you know, as barely grounded as she was when she had. There's nothing there anymore. So now she's all about herself and Jaime, who she I think looks at as an extension of herself.
Yeah.
She was raised to be a Lannister.
Yeah.
Lannisters, she was taught that we're the most powerful, we always win. And right now her back's against the wall, and I think she knows that, but she doesn't want to admit it. And her kids being dead, again, I think it's partially with her not wanting to come to terms with the fact that she is either directly or indirectly responsible for the death of every one of her children.
Yeah.
And there's that one scene, he says, "Are we going to talk about Tom?" And there's a small twinge of emotion in her face, which he hides.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't want to come to terms with it. I think she knows her back's against the wall, and she knows that, but she's been brought up that Lannisters don't show weakness. We always come out on top, and I think that's in her mindset.
I think the problem is that like she believes that she's the smartest person in the room, and she's not.
Yeah.
And she's the victim. She thinks she's the victim
So
of all of this.
she's easily offended, easily slighted, and she's not as smart as she thinks she is, and that's a crazy mixture of gasoline and fire.
Yeah.
So from there, we go to Euron, who has amassed this huge army of ships. Somehow, from season 5
3 days,
in season 5 to season 6, he now has this huge army of ships. He comes to her and he's basically like, "Look, you know, if you marry me, you get all my ships
and my great hands."
Yeah, my great hands, taking shots at Jaime. Cersei doesn't trust him. And he's basically told her that he'll go get her trust, which basically means he's going to go get Tyrion or Dany or somebody else or whatever. Besides his guy liner and his, like, you know...
Looking like an extra from Underworld.
Yes. Where does he stand, do you think?
Again, I think that I think this is him playing a game of knowing that their back's against the wall. And he knows that he has what they need to survive. Nobody else is with the Lannisters. The Freys are gone.
Yep.
The Lannisters are against the wall. And if you watch the episode, he's got a bravado and a brashness and a ballsy attitude towards it. And I think that's why he knows he has what they need. And she's either going to get in line or she's going to lose everything and he'll take it another way.
Yeah.
That's what he's coming at. And that's what I think.
Yeah, and I honestly, I think the two of them together scared the crap out of me. With his bravado and her just ignorance, it seems like it's going to be a very dangerous combination.
Yeah, a very violent combination.
Right,
yeah.
which I think honestly, you know, it scares me, but it's going to make for some great TV, I think. So
same with the at the wall. Sorry, not the wall.
At the Citadel.
At Citadel, and he's doing some things. It's not very important. We leave him. We get Arya traveling on the road, and she meets Ed Sheeran sing, and it's a very like humanizing moment for her to see both sides of the war, and that like it's not just black and white. It's not everybody's evil that's fighting against her or whatever. And so it was kind of cool. It was neat. I don't know how much that'll play into her emotionally, but you know,
I thought it was nice to see kind of her just interact with people that are fighting for the Lannisters.
Yeah.
But there, you know, this guy makes wine. It's his hobby, and this guy just had a kid, and she's laughing and joking with them, and it was nice to make sure that she knows the world's not all black and white. So. It
worked or whatever. It was. I don't know if you needed the scene, but it was nice to like.
I think they kind of needed it to humanize her.
Sure,
she had just become this faceless assassin. I'm out for revenge and revenge only, and it comes to that, and she sees that it's not all that. It's I can sit down and be normal and not have to worry about I got to kill everybody sitting at this campfire. And I think it did humanize her, and it gave an end to a story arc. Not the end, but it brought a story arc nice that worked for her.
Plus,
so. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to say I feel like Ed Sheeran paid to be a part of Game of Thrones. Yeah. So they had to throw him in there.
So from there, we see the Hound. He's hooked up with the Brothers Without Borders, or
Brotherhood without arms.
without banners. Sorry, wow.
Without banners, my God.
It's been like a lot of wine tonight. Beric Dondarrion, and you get to go back to a farmhouse where seasons ago the Hound and Arya traveled together. They were taken in without any food or anything, and you see that the farmhand and his daughter have died from starvation. He killed her out of pity, and you kind of get to see a moment of the Hound who kind of lets his shields down that he's not just this tough bastard. And he kind of has a moment because after they find the bodies later on in the night, he takes them all back and he digs graves or whatever, and nobody else with them did that, and they're all like holy men apparently or whatever, and only he is the one back there doing that.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think it's telling about his character as a person, that he never wanted to be this awful mean swordsman, that he was just placing that since his brother put his head in the fire, that like everybody thinks he's a monster, so he plays that part always or whatever. But what was neat about this situation is that there's a moment where he's looking into the fire and the God of Light is actually talking to him. And it's pretty cool because he's very atheist, he's very against the gods, he thinks that they're all bastards, and he's talking to him specifically. So who knows that maybe when him and his brother, the zombie mountain, finally meet together, maybe the God of Light gives him the strength to strike him down. Maybe the God of Light is slowly gaining power. Who knows? What do you guys take it from that scene?
I think it humanized him again, like it did with Arya, to where he didn't have to be this killing machine. It gave him a little moment of showing that he's human and showing remorse for people that he left penniless and for dead, to see them what they became. I think it gave him a little human moment.
Yeah.
Much like Arya, it gave him a nice little story arc.
I think it's great. I think we've seen some moments of the Hound kind of being a little bit softer throughout the series.
Yeah, it's very rare.
I mean, you see at Blackwater where he goes and he tries to rescue Sansa, and I loved the whole story arc with him and Arya. I thought that was fantastic. And this moment, I think, has just kind of shown the progression of his character throughout the years.
Fair enough, yeah.
And I thought that's great. The scene where he's looking into the fire and he's seeing these visions, I was more focused on the content of what he was seeing.
Okay, yeah, sure. Fair enough.
Where, the army of the dead is coming. John has stationed, he sent Tormund Giantsbane to Eastwatch by the Sea, because that's the closest castle to Hardhome, where we last saw the army of the dead. So I'm a little worried for him.
He's likable enough and small enough just to die.
He's gonna die, and it terrifies me because I love him. He's got
because him and Brienne are never gonna hook up.
No, he's got to. They have
to.
Man.
All right, so after the Hound, we get another scene with Sam, and we get a very unique interaction between him and a person in the cell whose arm is entirely infected with grayscale. And it looks like it's Jorah Mormont. We don't get to see his face, but it's Jorah Mormont. It's gotta be Jorah Mormont.
He's asking about Daenerys Stormborn. Has she made it to Westeros yet? There's no.
Yeah. So in case you forgot, season 5, Jorah was infected with the grayscale, trying to take Tyrion to Dany. Dany then told him that he needs to find a cure to prove his love to her.
You pledged yourself to me. You swore to obey my commands for the rest of your life. Well, I command you to find the cure.
Everything. So odds are he went to Old Town because that's where all knowledge and all the land is from. Maybe he was quarantined, who knows exactly, but it looks like he is being held in this cell. Maybe him and Sam hook up together and everything. Maybe Sam helps him out, like he escapes and they run off and he's got Heartsbane and his dad's chasing him. Who knows what's going on or whatever. But anything to make Sam's story more spicy, I'm cool with, because him just adding Axe hair gel is not enough for me to really care about his story. So.
And anytime Gilly is on screen, I just instantly fall asleep. So kind of over that.
All right, and then finally the mother lode shot. You get Dany finally coming back. She gets a touchdown on the beach in her brand new, somehow found threads.
Sweet, awesome.
Her awesome
crafted
leather
outfit.
Batman outfit
Looked like
that she just found on
badass.
ship somehow in the last month. And
I'm
then
sure they have seamstresses.
sure on
there.
because every person at war takes seamstresses and tailors and leathers, you know. and
They've
tanners.
partnered with the Tyrells,
have
who
to.
are just like dropping dollar bills, okay?
So they go up a huge amount of stairs, and Tyrion's with them, and he has to.
She's
Climb
taking
the
them
whole-
He's taking two at a time.
Yeah.
He's taking one at a time.
He gets out of
And
breath. That's why he doesn't talk.
There's
the whole
not a lot of
scene, I think.
talking going on, and what's crazy is that Dragonstone, which is House Baratheon's castle, their keep, it looks like undermanned. It looks like nobody's even there anymore. So which is kind of crazy that like this castle that's not very prosperous because of the land, but it's still like a really ancient, amazing castle in its own right. In terms of like just heritage and everything. It's weird that like, there's nobody there.
Well, I think, I mean, we haven't seen Dragonstone in several seasons since Stannis went off, and him and Melisandre,
Yeah,
You
had
know.
the shadow baby.
had that creepy shadow.
And like poor Brenly,
And-
just hanging out, getting stabbed in the chest.
Oh, he was so sweet. But anyways, I mean, we haven't seen it since that was season 2?
Yeah.
So that was the last we've seen of Dragonstone. Now that Stannis is gone, he's taken all of his armies. The Onion Knight is with Jon now.
Yeah.
Melisandre's in the wind somewhere, run off because she's been banished.
I was half expecting to see
I-
Gendry still rowing that damn boat out there somewhere, just like by
I
himself
feel
doing
like
circles.
he's going to make an appearance. I think he's coming back, I swear.
That poor guy, man.
But
He's just by
he's going to be
himself.
super ripped by the time he gets back, though, okay?
He's so good.
But I tell you what, it was a powerful scene for her homecoming. Someplace she hasn't seen
Absolutely.
since she was a kid.
Yeah.
And someplace that she was her birthright was to rule, if not as a queen, to be one of the heads of it. She was made for that, and to see her come, to see her place her hand down, and the look of I can't believe I'm here, I can't believe I'm home. Well, it was a powerful moment.
I would rather the scene had stopped there. If she's on the boat, she gets off, grabs some dirt, and says, "Let's get to work." Right then and there, and not like, "Cool,
But
I did this. I'm gonna go up here. I'm gonna go in this room. I'm gonna go in this
wanted to see
room."
her walk up. You wanted to see her
It weakened
go
it to
there.
me. I mean, like, maybe not to everybody, but I would like for it to have been like really short. Her hit the shores. This is what's up. Let's go, and not like, hey,
But-
I'm going here and check these bathrooms and check this attic and check the basement. It's like I don't know, man. It was just it
Her
was,
character to me is not that she's become powerful, but she's not that whole let's go get it. She's that again. It was she was caught up in the moment
Yeah.
of seeing it again and seeing where she's from, and it took her a minute to process all.
Now, Jamie, you know this already. Internet, you'll learn this over the next 7 weeks. I hate to agree with Andrew, but I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think if it had come to that moment where she walks up on the beach and she puts her hand in the sand and you see the dragons flying around the castle, I think that would have been good enough. Honestly, I think because this is a moment we have been waiting for for 6 seasons, we're finally there. She's come from this, sweet, innocent,
Start at the bottom, man.
naive little,
And
exactly.
now
She started from the bottom. And now she's here.
Red drawer in
man.
the for lemon tree, man. She's there. She's got it. All right, so that's where we stop it. Things that I am looking forward to. We might get the Clegane Bowl. That'll be amazing. I want Cersei to get choked out by Jamie.
Which hand is he choking her with?
His
The
gold.
one that's
Straight
like
up
the-
gold.
His golden hand. Maybe that's great. I would love for Sansa to turn straight heel.
Cersei
and
turning
just-
Cersei on.
And that'd be amazing. Just her and Baelish going off, turning on Jon. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, like, there's only 1 season left. I don't know how many surprises are left, in store and everything. But I think it's off to like an okay start. We'll see. I don't know. So I'd like to thank Jamie from Nerdpool. I'd like to thank my co-host Allison. We will be back with more wine next week, Geek of Thrones episode 2. So please join us.